The bitter rivalry between Israel and Iran have deep historical roots and continues to shape geopolitical dynamics in the Middle East today. To counter this, Israel has acquired a new submarine from Germany that is believed to be capable of launching nuclear-tipped cruise missiles that can strike anywhere in Iran. In this in-depth analysis, we're going to delve into the context of Israel-Iran tensions, examine Drakon's capabilities, analyze its strategic impact, and most importantly, explain how the submarine undermines prospects for Palestinian economic viability. Historical context of Israel-Iran rivalry. Israel and Iran have been adversaries since the 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran brought radical anti-Israel clerics to power. The two countries had cooperated closely during the era of the pro-American Shah, who was overthrown by the revolution. However, the new Islamist regime viewed Israel as a legitimate entity occupying Muslim lands. Iran swiftly cut off diplomatic ties with Israel. Additionally, it began providing extensive funding, weapons, and training to militant non-state actors like Hezbollah in Lebanon that are deeply hostile to Israel. The Iranians' regime vitriolic anti-Zionist stance combined with the active support for radical groups attacking Israel dramatically escalated tensions. Matters worsened further as Iran pursued technological capabilities that Israel perceived as direct threats to its existence. Iran's nuclear program and parallel development of long-range ballistic missiles stoked fears in Israel about its survival in a neighborhood with a nuclear-armed Iran. Over the years, Israel responded to these mounting security concerns by utilizing covert actions against Iran. It employed cyber attacks to damage Iranian nuclear infrastructures, most famously with the Stuxnet virus. Israel is also suspected to have assassinated multiple Iranian nuclear scientists to sabotage the program. The two adversaries have also engaged in indirect conventional clashes, especially in the Syrian civil war theater, where Israel carries out airstrikes against Iranian assets. Clearly, the Iran-Israel rivalry remains the defining geopolitical fault line in the Middle East. INS Drakon, Israel's new strategic submarine asset. It is in this context of escalating threat perceptions that Israel acquired a new submarine named INS Drakon. With vastly enhanced design features, Drakon represents a major boost to Israel's naval capabilities. It was built by a renowned German shipbuilder, ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems, which has provided Israel with 6 Dolphin-class submarines already. Drakon is similar to those, but has crucial differences under the hood. At 73 meters long, Drakon has a substantially larger hull compared to just 68 meters for older Dolphin-class boats. This provides more internal volume for advanced technologies. Even more strikingly, Drakon possesses a bigger sail that towers above its deck. Naval experts strongly believe these design changes are intended to house 2 major upgrades: an advanced air-independent propulsion system for extended underwater endurance and vertical launch tubes for nuclear-capable cruise missiles. The increased size and volume of Drakon points to major advances in propulsion and weapon systems. Its enlarged hull likely houses a modern fuel cell-based air-independent propulsion system that absorbs oxygen from the water rather than the air. This enables Drakon to operate silently underwater for up to 30 days without surfacing, making it extremely difficult to detect or track. The bigger sail can accommodate a vertical launch system for nuclear cruise missiles. The enlarged hull and sail provide the capacity to carry up to 20 submarine-launched cruise missiles with an estimated range of 1,700 miles. Fitted with 200-kiloton nuclear warheads, these missiles would significantly expand Israel's secret nuclear arsenal. They offer Israel a well-hidden second strike capability that shores up its policy of nuclear ambiguity. As a stealthy underwater launch platform, Drakon's missiles are virtually impossible to eliminate in a first strike. Strategic impact of Drakon on Israel nuclear posture. The reason behind acquiring Drakon is the substantial boost Israel's second strike nuclear deterrence capabilities, especially regarding Iran. As a diesel-electric powered submarine, Drakon can operate silently for weeks without needing to surface and expose itself. This makes the submarine extremely difficult to track and eliminate any possibility of it being taken out through a preemptive strike. The nuclear-tipped cruise missiles on Drakon ensure that even if Israel suffers a catastrophic first nuclear strike, it will retain the capability to retaliate against enemy cities. This is absolutely essential to meaningful nuclear deterrence, which relies on the survivability of nuclear forces to retaliate or strike second after absorbing an attack. In essence, Drakon and its stealthy nuclear missile plug a vulnerability in Israel's nuclear posture. By bolstering its second strike credentials, Drakon significantly enhances Israel's overall strategic deterrence. It strengthens the credibility of Israel's intangible nuclear program, whose existence has never been openly acknowledged. Furthermore, the extremely long range of Drakon's missile provides Israel added flexibility to assign targets and retaliate against distant adversaries, especially Iran. The submarine and its nuclear payload represent both a defensive asset as well as an offensive threat, alarming threat to Palestine's vulnerable economy. However, the highly sophisticated INS Drakon submarine poses a sinister threat to Palestinians alongside strengthening Israel's nuclear capabilities. Palestine has limited self-governance over disjointed territories and crucially lacks military power. Its economy is already severely hamstrung due to the geographic fragmentation, Israel restrictions, and recurring conflicts. Vital sectors like agriculture and tourism are especially vulnerable to collapse. Even the ever-present possibility of Israel military strikes depresses economic hopes. Drakon dangerously compounds these structural weaknesses in Palestine economy. Its long-range missiles can easily cover every inch of Palestinian territory from positions in the Mediterranean. The constant fear of sudden nuclear strike on population centers could completely paralyze normal Palestinian economic life. Key infrastructure, major cities, and transportation links would exist under the shadow of being instantly obliterated by missiles from the almost undetectable submarine. The overwhelming threat could scare away what little foreign investment exists in the Palestinian economy. Moreover, even tourists may flee out of fear of getting caught up in apocalyptic nuclear conflict, dealing a death blow to Palestine's tourism industry. The assurance of nuclear retaliation provided by Drakon could also embolden Israel to unleash the full force of its conventional military firepower against Palestine in future clashes. In essence, through Drakon's inclusion in its nuclear forces, Israel has further reinforced immense military superiority over Palestine. The Palestinians find themselves held hostage to Israel's evolving nuclear strategies and capabilities. Their dreams for economic prosperity could perish under this existential threat. Global response to Israel's nuclear submarine. Israel's acquisition of the INS Drakon submarine has elicited mixed responses internationally. Among Western powers, the reaction has been largely muted. Israel's close allies, such as the United States and major European countries, have not criticized its move to enhance naval deterrence capabilities. They continue to express steadfast support for Israel's security. However, beneath the surface, there are concerns that Drakon could potentially destabilize the Middle East further and spark a regional nuclear arms race. Regional powers like Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt are wary about Israel's improving its second strike nuclear force, as it could diminish their own standing and influence in the Arab world. There are proliferation risks that other states may accelerate their own missiles and nuclear programs to counter the growing Israel threat. Meanwhile, the Palestinians have condemned the provocative submarine acquisition. Palestinian leaders have described Drakon as a dangerous escalation that proves Israel is not serious about finding a peaceful resolution to the conflict. The Arab League has issued statements criticizing Israel's buildup of nuclear weapons delivery systems enabled by submarines like the Drakon. They accuse Israel of breaching international norms on nuclear transparency. There are also criticisms of Germany for supplying the submarine, given its history and moral obligations not to export weapons that exacerbate conflicts. However, the global reaction thus far reveals the limited political capital behind the Palestinian cause. Also, realpolitik interests often override normative concerns when it comes to allies enhancing their military power. Still, the introduction of Drakon as Israel's underwater nuclear deterrent faces indirect opposition in the region and beyond. Policy options for key parties. The introduction of the INS Drakon into Israel's nuclear forces has long-term policy implications for regional stakeholders. For Israel, relying on strong second strike capabilities could reduce incentives to find a negotiated settlement with the Palestinians. But nuclear primacy also brings risks of hubris and overconfidence in military solutions. Israel should reflect on how its national security interests are served by just peace. Palestinians are in an unenviable position, but can build goodwill by unequivocally accepting Israel's right to exist. The Palestinians face deeply unfair conditions with the economic fate tied to the ebb and flow of Israel's nuclear doctrine. A just and lasting resolution respecting the rights of both people remain the only viable path to resolve this crisis. We hope this detailed video gave you insight into the strategic impact of Israel's submarine acquisition and its troublesome implications for the Palestinians. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth geopolitical commentary.